The Rubicon is both the name of a shallow river in northeastern Italy, just south of Ravenna, and the name historically given to a river that was famously crossed by Julius Caesar in 49 BCE. While it has not been proven, historians generally agree that the two rivers are indeed one and the same. This was not always the case. The modern-day river runs for about 80 kilometers, from the Apennine Mountains to the Adriatic Sea through the southern Emilia-Romagna region, between the towns of Rimini and Cesena. The Latin word rubico comes from the adjective rubus, meaning red. The river was so named because its waters are colored red by mud deposits. History. During the Roman Republic, the river Rubicon marked the boundary between the Roman province of Cisalpine Gaul to the northeast and Italy proper, to the south. On the northwestern side, the border was marked by the river Arno, a much wider and more important waterway, which flows westward from the Apennine Mountains into the Tyrrhenian Sea. Governors of Roman provinces were appointed pro-magistrates with imperium in their province. The governor would then serve as the general of the Roman army within the territory of his province. Roman law specified that only the elected magistrates could hold imperium within Italy. Any pro-magistrate who entered Italy at the head of his troops forfeited his imperium and was therefore no longer legally allowed to command troops. Exercising imperium when forbidden by the law was a capital offense. Furthermore, obeying the commands of a general who did not legally possess imperium was also a capital offense. If a general entered Italy whilst exercising command of an army, both the general and his soldiers became outlaws and were automatically condemned to death. Generals were thus obliged to disband their armies before entering Italy. Julius Caesar. In 49 BCE, perhaps on January 10, Julius Caesar led a single legion, Legio 13 Gemina, south over the Rubicon from Cisalpine Gaul to Italy to make his way to Rome. In doing so, he broke the law on imperium and made armed conflict inevitable. Suetonius depicts Caesar as undecided as he approached the river, and attributes the crossing to a supernatural apparition. It was reported that Caesar dined with Sallust, Hirtius, Oppius, Lucius Balbus and Sulpicius Rufus on the night after his famous crossing into Italy January 10. According to Suetonius, Caesar uttered the famous phrase Alia acta est. The phrase, crossing the Rubicon, has survived to refer to any individual or group committing itself irrevocably to a risky or revolutionary course of action, similar to the modern phrase, passing the point of no return. Caesar's decision for swift action forced Pompey, the lawful consuls, and a large part of the Roman Senate to flee Rome in fear. Caesar's subsequent victory in Caesar's civil war ensured that punishment for the infraction would never be rendered. This took place during the time of the Roman Republic. Location, confusion and resolution. After Caesar's crossing, the Rubicon was a geographical feature of note until about 42 BCE, when Octavian merged the province of Gallia Cisalpina into Italia and the river ceased to be the extreme northern border of Italy. The decision robbed the Rubicon of its importance, and the name gradually disappeared from the local toponymy. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, and during the first centuries of the Middle Ages, the coastal plain between Ravenna and Rimini was flooded many times. The Rubicon, like other small rivers of the region, often changed its course during this period. For this reason, and to supply fields with water after the revival of agriculture in the late Middle Ages, during the 14th and 15th centuries, hydraulic works were built to prevent other floods and to regulate streams. As a result of this work, these rivers started to flow in straight courses, as they do today. With the revival of interest in the topography of ancient Roman Italy during the 15th century, the matter of identifying the Rubicon in the contemporary landscape became a topic of debate among Renaissance humanists. To support the claim of the Pisciatello, a spurious inscription forbidding the passage of an army in the name of the Roman people and Senate, The so-called Sanctia was placed by a bridge on that river. The Quattrocento humanist Flavio Biondo was deceived by it. The actual inscription is conserved in the Museo Archeologico Cesena. As the centuries went by, several rivers of the Adriatic coast between Ravenna and Rimini have at times been said to correspond to the ancient Rubicon. The Via Aemilia still follows its original Roman course as it runs between hills and plain. It would have been the obvious course to follow, as it was the only major Roman road east of the Apennine Mountains leading to and from the Po Valley. Attempts to deduce the original course of the Rubicon can be made only by studying written documents and other archaeological evidence such as Roman milestones, which indicate the distance between the ancient river and the nearest Roman towns. The starting point of a Roman road, from which distances were counted, was always the crossing between the Cardo and the Decumanus, the two principal streets in every Roman town, running north-south and east-west respectively. In a section of the Tabula Peutingeriana, an ancient document showing the network of Roman roads, a river in northeastern Italy labeled Florida, Rubicon, is shown at a position 12 Roman miles north of Rimini along the coastline. 18 kilometers is the distance between Rimini and a place called Ad Confluentes, drawn west of the Rubicon. On the Via Aemilia, however, the riverbed shape observed in Pisciatello and the Rubicon River in the present day, well below Roman age soil layers. Furthermore, the features of the present-day Rubicon River and the Aemilia Road itself are common to typical geographical-oriented limits of Roman age, being what made this a clue of actual identification of the present-day Rubicon River with Fiumicino. In 1933, after various efforts that span centuries, the Fiumicino, which crossed the town of Savignano di Romagna, was officially identified as the former Rubicon. The final proof confirming this theory came only in 1991, when 3 Italian scholars, after a comparison between the Tabula Peutingeriana and other ancient sources, showed that the distance from Rome to the Rubicon River was 200 Roman miles. Key elements of their work are: the locality of San Giovanni in Compito has to be identified with the old Ad Confluentes. The distance between Ad Confluentes and Rome, according to the Tabula Peutingeriana, is 201 Roman miles. The distance from today's San Giovanni in Compito and the Fiumicino River is 1 Roman mile. Present. Today there is very little evidence of Caesar's historical passage. Savignano sul Rubicon is an industrial town and the river has become one of the most polluted in the Emilia-Romagna region. Exploitation of underground waters along the upper course of the Rubicon has reduced its flow. It was a minor river even during Roman times, and has since lost its natural route, except in its upper course between low and woody hills.